All letter curves are done in the same way. It doesn't really matter about the shape. It starts off with a stab cut in the center. This is a stop cut that'll protect the grain from being burst out. So I pick a tool that lines up in the center. Just as with the uprights, I put in a stab cut like that, and I come round, still in the middle, shallower as I get to the thinner parts, and I have to stop over there because this curve isn't quite right. And from here I'm going to take out the outside edge. Now I'm going to use a mallet to begin with, just because this wood is very hard. I'll take a little bit of waste wood out, and then it doesn't really matter where I start, but I'm going to start pushing and slicing across like this. So I'm rotating the tool, picking up one cut with the next, and moving this outside cut around, paying attention to the actual edge here where the wall of the letter meets the surface. So I come as far around as I can, trying to join that together. Then I switch to the inside, picking a different tool, a flatter tool, and again I'm going to take off a bit of waste. Waste meaning wood that's in essentially the wood that's going to go on the floor anyway, so it's not important surface. So again I come round with this cut, slicing round, marrying one cut to the next, and with this shaped tool I can actually begin my stop cut, come right across here while I'm at it. So I come right the way around over here. So this tool will do this curve all the way around like this, and it will also do a little bit of the curve down here. So I'll just go around a second time and clean that up on the outside. And I'm trying to get these two cuts to join smoothly in the middle down there. A little bit of backwards and forwards, especially with hardwood. So now in this type of letter we have two things to do. We have this top part, which is actually flat and it runs along this line. So the top part of this letter is flat. I just treat it like a serif, exactly as before, but this time using my flat gouge. And I can just so the serif part is this bit I've just cut, that comes round like so, and we want to be able to just merge that cut, the flat cut, with the curve at the top. So this marrying is quite important. So there's the serif, and I can just clean that up a little bit, that corner. With this lettering, sometimes we talk about just so cuts, where it's just a little something like that does cut the fibres and liberates it. So that's the top, and that's really an extension of the serif, again trying to make that come round, nice curve. Now the bottom is a little bit tricky because you have a little dead corner here, which is important to keep, and that's short grain and quite weak. So I will cut this with, I made my stop cut this with the outside edge like that, pushing away from this weak grain, and then I'll finish it off coming around here on this side. So these are nice clean surfaces. Sharp edges. Nice looking letters. Big elements like this M here take a lot more work. There's a lot more wood to be removed, and I did use a mallet in here. But essentially it was the same. I put a stab cut in, and then I used this tool to go around the outside. then I used a tool that was a bit flatter on the inside. And what's interesting is that this curve changes so that the top part here becomes flatter as it comes over, and this inside line actually becomes a tighter radius. So from flatter to tighter, and from a tighter radius to flatter. So basically we swap the tools over. So the outside tool I'm using here, I would probably be able to pick up on the inside here. So let me just see if I can do that. This is a smaller tool with the same sort of radius as that big one. So I'm picking up the inside line and I'm pulling it round, round, like so, and marrying this line here all the way around, and the same here, coming off here, marrying round, pushing round. So that would be, in this case, the inside curve. I'm going to turn it round so you can see me do the outside. So here I am at the other side, and I'm picking up the outside edge here, and I'm pushing it along here, right down. Oops, let's get a flatter tool here. Down into the center there. So when I repeat this on this side, what naturally happens is you get this crease or little hill down the middle. I want to line that up down the bottom, and we take this out. So that's essentially what I'm doing, cleaning this up. So one of the things about letter carving and working like this is that we do need to be working with the tools, finding the tools that will do the job. And they're not special tools, they're just ordinary carving tools. And you do need a repertoire, because if you start changing your alphabet, you'll just start changing the tools. And at the end of the day though, what we're doing is trying to get this line, this edge, really nice and tidy, this edge nice and tidy and flowing, and then this center crease here, the root down the bottom, looking good too. So I'm going to go over, I'll clean this up a little bit, few little bits here, and what I do is I check all my letters before I can say they're finished, and I'm going to work through all the curves, and that'll finish off these letters, these Celtic letters. So once I've done all these curves, the carving is finished. All that remains now is for me to take off the paper, which I'll do with some white spirit, or rather methylated spirits. This will dissolve the glue and take the paper off. And then I'll check it over for anything that I can now see that was obscured by the edge of the paper, and the job will be finished. So that's a little bit of methylated spirits. I'll just brush this off. And this is effectively alcohol, and you could use spirits of alcohol or something like that. It won't affect the wood. I'll just brush that on, and then fairly soon, see, it's already starting to come off. The paper will come off readily. It just needs to soak through, so I'll just leave that a touch longer. But here's the paper coming off, look. It comes off quite readily. So I'll work the whole thing over, and then when I finish with that, when this is dried off, I'm going to use a bit of sandpaper just to clean off that line that I put on. And then I'll do that before I just check it over for any little bits I've missed.